Well, if you just joined us, you're welcome. You're watching Village Square Africa here on News Center Television, broadcasting to 54 African countries and beyond. We've been looking at Nigeria week in, week out lately as the country prepares for the big election. The 2023 elections have become the most important topic on the lips of Nigerians, and the reasons for these are not far-fetched. After 7 tough years, the consciousness of the people about who presides over them and represents them has increased. Posters, banners, and flyers are making the rounds, and politicking is at its grandest. Parties are on the verge of picking their candidates, and the people are preparing to listen to them and assess their qualities. Now, there are a number of issues to look at as they may affect 2023 and what will be guiding the people's choices. The regions of aspirants, their CV, political history, social clout and presence, and many more are some of the issues we'll be looking at. Joining me now is a journalist and columnist, Fredrick. Nwabufo. He joins me from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Good to see you, Fredrick, and thanks for your time as always.
Thank you, Suleiman. Good to be here.
Good. And, you know, you've seen some of the names coming up as aspirants for the presidency, and you've written quite a number, of editorials and, commentaries. What do you have to say about what's playing out in Nigeria?
Well, it's an interesting time, and I believe we'll be having an election in 2023 where an incumbent president will not be running. And it makes it much more interesting because it's an open ticket, like I said in one of my columns. The APC or the PDP or any party, anybody at all can take it because the power of incumbency is limited in this case. So it's all interesting. It's been exhilarating. And we have clamor for political parties to cede the presidential ticket to the South. And of course, there's been a back and forth. There have been arguments for and against that. For me personally, I believe what we should be talking about now is competence. Political parties should zone their presidential ticket to the geography of competence. If I would rephrase that, political parties should zone their presidential tickets to the axis of competence, of capacity, of character. So it's the same problem we've had over the years. We emphasize ethnicity, religion. I think that playing out. Some of the hopefuls, presidential hopefuls that have shown interest in running have, of course, been towing that path. Consider me, because it's the turn of my region to run for president, to be given the ticket. A particular presidential hopeful met with delegates yesterday in Plateau State, and his argument was, it's the turn of the North Central to produce the next president. It's our turn, so please support me. Of course, that is the problem we've always had in Nigeria. The problem of putting emphasis on what should be a very secondary issue, rather than primary matters of competence, character, ability, antecedent, proven track records. This should be the issues that should guide the 2023 elections. But unfortunately, we are seeing religion and ethnicity being the topmost issues in this season.
Let me comment this way. First, though a journalist, a lot of people in Nigeria also know you as Mr. Nigeria. You've written quite a number of commentaries that points to the unity of Nigeria. So when you hear comments, from politicians talking about regions, talking about issues that surround zoning, does that actually make, sense in politics of Nigeria as it stands?
Well, the fact is, yeah, I'm Mr. One Nigeria because I believe in the unity of Nigeria. I believe we are stronger together as a country. I believe we can do greater things together than divided. So I believe in the new tribe of Nigerians who are conscious about who they are and who are conscious about getting the country together and keeping the country together. So I'm very particular about that. And of course, the question is, what has zoning done for us over the years? How has it changed Nigeria? It's still the same problem. How has Nigeria changed since 1999? What development have we recorded with zoning? Now, I've explained it. The problem is when you sit presidential ticket to a particular zone on the basis of it's our turn, in quotes, turn by turn, then the person who is coming to represent is coming to represent that region and not Nigerians. So we should be talking about a Nigerian president, not an Igbo president. That's why I totally repudiate the phrase Igbo presidency. It's wrong, very wrong, to say Igbo presidency. So it's the Igbo now, so these are some of the things we need to correct. We need a Nigerian president, not a president that will represent the Southeast, the Southwest, the North. A president that will represent Nigerians, that will be for all Nigerians. We've been through this part before. When you start seeding or start amplifying ethnic agenda, start amplifying ethnic issues, of course, the person who emerges will be looking at, of course, favoring his own side part of the country because he believes, I'm here now, I'm here to represent my region. I'm here as a representative of my people. I'm here because I'm Igbo, not because I'm Nigerian. I'm here because it's our turn. That's why I got here. So we have a problem, with this. So we should be emphasizing a Nigerian president. We should be emphasizing the geography of competence, not.
So let me jump in here, Fred. Apologies for jumping in on this. Let me quickly comment. And now you're on this. Does any of the names at the moment fit that attribute of a nationalist who would go in and actually fix the country irrespective of where he or she is from?
Yeah, there are a few of them, but I classified some as presidential and presidential jokers. Of course, there are a few of them. I would not want to mention anybody's name, so I will not be endorsing anybody. But of course, there are a few of them that I believe can actually represent Nigeria, not represent where they come from. We've made this mistake before, and we're repeating it now. So we need to steer clear of this particular problem. There are a few of them. A particular presidential hopeful who is known for making caustic, cutting comments, suddenly woke up and felt, oh, yeah, I can go to the North now and give them money, talk to their leaders to, support me. But while this person, the governor, all the years, has been busy dividing the country with his speech, has been busy fanning the embers of disunity over the years. Now it's election season. Those people he feels or he has said things about are now needed for votes. So this is the problem we have. Of course, there are a couple of people, presidential folks, that will do well, I believe will do well. But the problem of Nigeria basically is beyond a particular individual. It's a systemic problem. But we need leadership that will see to this systemic problem and correct it.
And
so
Fred, sorry, I'm trying to see how much I can pack in. It's not all the time we get journalists like yourself on national matters here in Nigeria. So I'm trying to see how much I can put on the plate for you. There have been lots of attachments to the name of President Buhari. How do you assess that from a political point of view? Almost everyone will say, I've just spoken to the president and he's given me the go-ahead to contest.
Yeah, Buhari has been, he's a retired general. He's very smart. It's a fox. It's been a foxy with everything. He has not endorsed anyone. He has not said, "Oh, this is my candidate." In fact, when he was asked in January, he said he's not interested. He will succeed him. He's not interested, but he has the preferred candidate. But he's not going to say who the person is. He's been smart about it, and I believe that's what it should be. But again, I think whoever Buhari decides to endorse may get the support of the North, because Buhari has that followership in the North. It's respected, still respected, and so whoever he endorses will definitely have that. Um, I would say more support from the North because of the person of Buhari. But I think even if the president will eventually endorse somebody, he will not be doing that now, too early. But all the same, he has not endorsed anybody. What he says to Mr. A is what he tells the other person. Of course, all this presidential, they run to him, take photo, and of course, trying to seek a form of support, and of course, to create a hype that, oh, I'm with the president, he can see me now. So, but of course, the president has not said anything. The last time his spokesman issued a statement, he said the president has maintained that he is not endorsing anybody. He is not going to say, oh, this is my favorite candidate or anybody. He's not going to do that. It's going to be impartial. It's going to be fair to all parties. And I think that's the right thing. If he keeps his word, I believe that will be good, because we need a change, real change this time around. And of course, um, the candidates the hopefuls should be able to run on their own name by personal example, by dint of what they've done, not by dint of I know Buhari is supporting me. We don't want that. And of course, the president said in 2019 that nobody should merchandise his name in campaigns. Said that one, nobody should use his name for campaigns, that he worked all through the years to become president. They should follow suit and do likewise.
Fred, you wrote about the silence of Rotimi Amechi at one point. That's Nigeria's Minister of Transportation. You also predicted at that time that he may be nursing an ambition. How strong an aspirant is he?
Well, Rotimi Amechi, it's of course outspoken, brave. You know the role he played in bringing the present government into power, because he's dogged, he's dauntless, he's ready to go the whole hog. He's competent. I would say he's a very competent person. He has all the attributes of a president. He's willing to, of course, if you want to rate ministers who have performed on their jobs, you can, of course, mention him as one of the top ministers in this administration that has done well. So, of course, he is a good product. He's one of those I expect should be considered if the APC wants to. There are other people as well, Shibanjo, Atiku Abubakar, and a few others. Well,
I don't want you to glide over. I don't want you to glide over those names. I know you said you wouldn't mention names and make it look like you're endorsing. No one is endorsing anyone,
yeah.
but the vice president,
Okay.
Yemi Oshibajo, is a major shake in the presidential discourse. So, what do you make of his aspiration, especially considering Bola Tinubu is also strongly considered?
I think the vice president has the right to run. Of course, like you said, he owes allegiance to Nigeria, not to anyone. And that is within his rights for him to run for president. So nobody should try to, in any way, to intimidate him. It's his choice. He wants to run. He should. And of course, he has all the right credentials to do so. But I think the albatross on Oshibanjo's neck is the performance of the government. Some Nigerians believe that the government has not done well, particularly regarding insecurity. But of course, Oshibanjo is a good product. He's outspoken. He has all the qualities. He's an intellectual. He's a thinker. So I think he is a good person, Atiku Abubakar. So one thing I would not like to, you know, encourages the idea that, oh, these people are soiled, these people are tainted, so let's go and get saints. Let's go and manufacture some saintly people and make them president. No, 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 no. It doesn't work that way. You can't get saints anywhere. Humans generally are flawed species. So you have to make do with.
You're the second Nigerian, saying this to me. First, someone said, look, whether you like it or not, you can't have saints to drive the political process in most African countries, especially in Nigeria. So what qualities would Nigerians be looking out for in that person who should steer the ship from 2023?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, competence. Um, this time around, proven track records. Not I did this, I did this. What Nigerians know. Character, very important. And of course, there should be demonstrated patriotism. You don't have someone who is known to have made caustic, choleric, divisive statements in the past, and you expect him, that's his character, that's how he talks. Who has made very, very offensive comments about the unity of Nigeria or about a certain ethnic group in the past, or who is known to nurse insular ideologies, insular thoughts. We know people like that, even amongst these presidential hopefuls. So we should be wary of people like that. Of course, competence, character, proven track records, antecedents. That's some of the things we should be looking out for.
So help us
Like
here. Throw in Nigeria's former President Goodluck Jonathan in the equation.
Goodluck Jonathan, I'm of the view that he failed in his first term when he was president. He failed. Of course, every Nigerian knows that he was rejected by Nigerians. He did not win the election in 2015 because he failed woefully on security, economy, and other areas. He failed. He failed woefully. We all agree on that he failed. But of course, the reason why some people want him back now is not because they love Nigeria. No, these people that want one president back is based on insular and primordial considerations. The permutation that he has only 4 years to spend in office if he gets elected, and then the North takes over. So this is actually the problem we have: primordial considerations, not thinking about the totality, the generality of Nigerians, how this decision will impact them. What is the former president coming to do different? Of course, corruption was all-time high under him. So what will he do differently in 4 years? Of course, it's to, repeat what has been done before. I don't think I'm not going to try and endorse that. No, it shouldn't. I believe he has created an image for himself out of office. He has actually achieved a bit in, mediating with foreign countries on behalf of Nigeria. So I believe they should keep his newfound popularity, so to speak. They should keep that and not come back to now mess everything up again. I don't think we should be going back to Egypt. I think we should be moving forward to Canaan. So that's what I believe.
So what do you think of the People's Democratic Party's chances in the coming elections?
Yes, there is a possibility for both parties, the APC and the PDP. It's an open ticket. Any party, anyone at all can take it. What matters basically is the candidate, those that they will be fielded in the elections. The PDP can take it, the APC can take it. And of course, knowing Buhari full well, knowing his antecedents, of course, if you look at previous elections, he has said it, he will not influence election or interfere in the electoral process for anyone or for any reason. And we have seen him, keep to his word in several elections across the country. And of course, we believe, going by how INEC the Electoral Act and how INEC has actually improved over the years, the election promises to be, well, hopefully free and fair. So it's going to be an open ticket. PDP can take it, APC can take it. But all that matters is the candidates in the election. Now, in the PDP, for instance, the reason why most members of the party feel someone from the Northern Atiku should get a ticket is because they believe he could win the election. He scored about 11 million votes or 12 million votes in the last election in 2019 against Buhari, and that's Buhari, with his popularity and power of incumbency and all of that. So the permutation is that with Atiku, and if a big name and a powerful figure like Tinubu gets the ticket, of course, they could square off fairly, or if any other person, So the PDP is thinking about winning the election, and of course, that's why they've not, zoned the presidential ticket, despite the clamor for some members of the party and some Nigerians for the zoning of the president's ticket to the south. The PDP have kept it open. It's an open ticket, anyone can get it. So it's a possibility we could see a PDP government in 2023, and we could see an APC government in 2023.
It's amazing you speak, about both. It could swing either way, the PDP or the APC. Fredrick, what about the much talked about third force?
Well, let's be sincere. There's no such thing, but it's good to have a third leg, a third force. But the practicality of Nigerian politics doesn't allow that. You need a lot. You need structure. You need to have structure in all the local government areas of the country. You need money. You need a lot of things. So, of course, the third force is there for the noise, the hype, the hula baloo, and all of that. But of course, it cannot work. The reality is that only candidates of the PDP and APC can emerge. For example, a recent election this year in the FCT, the council election, which is more or less a litmus test of the major thing that will happen in 2023. The PDP took 3 councils and the APC took 3 councils equally. So it's even in Kaduna as well. So this is the reality of Nigerian politics. Third force is good for the noise, the hype and so on. So, but it's not realistic in the Nigeria of today. But we could actually have a counterbalancing in 2023 if the any party doesn't win. Of course, it's going to be a huge hit for that party, maybe the PDP or the APC. There will be a possibility of realignment, and or turns going forward. But for now, I think the 2 credible political parties, I would say viable, not credible, political parties, political platforms that can produce presidential candidates for now. That's the reality. It's the APC and the PDP.
And lastly, before we let you go, let's come back home, the media. How's the coverage going so far? Are we doing well or not so well? To be honest, your views are needed here.
Yeah, I think the media, we are waking up to the realities, the actualities of this election. Recall in 2014, it was like there was war in the country. Everywhere was explosive. But of course, and the media was at work, fact checking and so on. So, but I believe the media is waking up gradually. It's been 8 years of pain, 8 years of disillusionment. So I believe the media is catching on gradually to the season. And there will be more fact checking, there will be more reports, coverage, and so. But of course, you notice that there is a bit of calmness, a bit of passivity in the atmosphere. But I believe the media will catch on And the statements or the comments of political actors this period, and of course their hirelings on social media, have not been very, very outright ridiculous and offensive like we had in 2014 when people were saying whatever the hate speech here and there. So I believe there's a bit of toning down to that on social media. And so I believe the media will catch on eventually, just the beginning of the election season. Eventually, the media will catch on, to what is happening.
Well, it's a fine place for us to say many thanks for being such nice company, Fredrick Nwabufo, Nigerian journalist and columnist, and of course, Diane Hawker, South African editor and journalist. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sulaiman. See you again.